Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show, brought to you by Coors Light and Bet365. The Avs are taking on the Edmonton Oilers. We are expecting a high-scoring game, I would say. It is safe to assume, given these two teams. Could be a bit of a shootout, to say the least. Gonna be a fun one, no doubt about it. Initial thoughts going into tonight from you guys. I'll ask the question I always ask. This is the toughest game the Avs are going to play for a while. Is this a must-win? Do they have to become a Zamboni?
No, because this is what happens when you win 5 games in a row, and this is what happens when you're already 500 on this 4-game road trip. Like, when you win a bunch of games in a row, it lessens the need for you to, like, you don't have to win this one. If you're serious about winning the Central Division, you just can't lose games. Like, you just can't do it. You have to keep winning games yourself and putting all the pressure on the other teams to do it. So, if you're serious about the Central, yes.
Fair argument.
I think about the greater playoff implications of how the path through the West most likely runs through both of these two teams, and I like to see how a newly juiced up Avs team post-deadline stacks up against Edmonton.
Sorry, go ahead. I am doing other things. Apologies.
Two really great teams, and potentially missing some important guys, getting some reinforcements back in. They just haven't really gotten that total stability that we've hoped for after the deadline when they did get reinforcements, but I'm hoping it looks more like a complete picture with MacKinnon, Parise, and Drouin at least back in the lineup tonight. Without a Makar, if that is the situation we're dealing with, it gets a little trickier, but there's still some pretty important pieces that will be in the lineup, and I want to see how they start stacking wins together with this newly formed group.
Yeah, and for me, it's more like AJ just said, it's more like, if you're serious about winning the division, go. But I want them to play well. I want them to respect the process. I want them to respect that they are down the stretch. And sometimes you're going to play a great game, and it's hockey, right? And you're going to lose. There's other teams that are good in this league. Edmonton's one of them. I do believe they're going to win tonight. I'm not being negative. I'm saying, but sometimes you play a great game, and you play a great stretch of games, and then you go 3-3 or 4-4. So I want them going into the playoffs. Now that you're into the teens, right, of games left, you want them to be going with the pace, with the swing that they need, with the hunger that they need. And sometimes again, in the playoffs, you're gonna play great, you're gonna lose games. It's okay, it's how you react to it. So tonight, I just want an awesome effort. I want it to be fun to watch. A lot of firepower. We'll talk about it later, but it should be a dandy.
I don't know if I'd call it a dandy, but it should be exciting. I'll put it that way.
Oh, it's going to be a dandy.
I hope you're right.
Or a landy.
Sell me on it then, Eric. How do the Avs use these 3 keys to turn this one into a dandy?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was about to say. It's more like power versus power, right? I mean, it'd be an idiot not to know that it's basically an all-star team out there for both sides, right? So it's going to be fun. And it's fun to see 29-96 versus 97 and 29, right? So a lot of fire. May the best team win, right? Maybe the best guys show their stuff. It's Saturday night. It's Hockey Night in Canada. There's a lot of people watching. So that's all I heard today, listening to NHL Network on the radio. And, oh, my God, I'm tuning in that game tonight. So everybody's talking about it. It should be fun. Number 2, be disciplined. Those guys, I mean, the Edmonton Oilers have a sick power play. You just can't take penalties. AJ always says it, nothing free. When you're taking penalties, you're basically giving them a freebie. That team can just hurt you. It can break your legs in a series, but it can break your legs in a game like tonight. So be disciplined with your assignments, not just on penalties, but with your assignments. Know what's up. They got a lot of trick plays on the face-offs and stuff like that, set plays. So know your assignments, know what you're doing. That's part of being disciplined. It's not just penalties, but it's knowing all your assignments ahead of time, i.e. on face-offs. Number 3, playoff type. My God, it's 6-6 basketball game. Playoff type puck management, you know. If it's there, take it. If it's not there, you might have to put it deep. I mean, sometimes it's okay. I don't care, you're a skilled guy. It's not there. And in a playoff series, I think the Avs learned that a couple years ago, 3 years ago, learned how to win a little bit in the playoffs. You got to be smart with your puck management, with your entries, especially because the Oilers can transition. They are a deadly team. I don't have to go back to who they have. But those guys just are thirsty for you to make that mistake, and all of a sudden, that McDavid dude is gone. So, fun one tonight. Should be awesome. May the best team win.
On your second point, I'm not saying I want to see the Avs take penalties, but I do think it would be interesting to see this new look Avs penalty kill with Trennan and Duhaime against arguably the best power play in the league, certainly over the last couple of years, the best power play in the league. Not a situation you want to put yourself in as a team, but this has been a pretty good PK so far. If they can shut down a McDavid-Draisaitl type power play, that's another nice little feather in the cap of some of these Avs acquisitions.
I always remember when you're doing a trade deadline, when you're trying to build a team, and obviously it ends at the trade deadline because that's the last pieces you can add. You're always looking at goaltending, you're always looking at your offense, your defense, and then obviously your special teams. Now, if you look in the Western Conference, the Avs are not stupid. They have on their board. Well, you have to get through the Edmonton Oilers like they did 2 years ago, assuming somewhere, somehow, they might face them. Now, when you talk about the Oilers, what do you talk about? Their power play. So how do you defend your power play? Your point right there. A structured PK that can actually lessen the damage. And obviously, the Avs last week did that with Trennan and Duhaime. And obviously, with the loss of Logan, they went and padded themselves up with some emergency situations.
Yep, no doubt about it. Let's keep it rolling here with our favorite segment, snacker segment at Circle K. Who's gonna eat tonight? Eric, you're not getting to go first this time. I'm taking it away from you. We're stealing your picks.
Sure.
Let's go with AJ's side first.
I don't think you'll get mine tonight. That's fine.
I went with him last game, and it's kind of cheating just because why not pick him? But I think it's Nathan MacKinnon, and I kind of wonder, can he win the Hart tonight?
If with a good performance on Hockey Night in Canada?
If he has a 3 or 4 point night, the Avs win this game, especially if it's in comfortable fashion. But if they win this game, can he just win this thing tonight? Are we done talking about it if he goes out and has a bomb night in Edmonton?
Can the guy in Toronto get the 75 tonight? Because if he gets the 75, it's automatic.
If he gets the 75, he automatically gets it, apparently.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know
Sarcasm.
I don't know why this is the case, but apparently this magical number exists. But if he tonight, if he goes out and has a great night, is it just done? And he's always been good against Edmonton, so I'm just saying, go Nathan MacKinnon, go.
I'm taking us off topic here, but I have my own theory. Because Nathan MacKinnon is actually only 8 goals away from 50. I know the big talk is, he's going to set the points record for the Avs in a single season. But if he gets to 50 goals with that points record, who cares about Matthew's 75, right?
Matthew's got the Cy Young going right now. He does.
I know.
Even if he stops at 48, I'm kind of at the same spot, man.
Yeah.
If he has an 80 assist season,
I don't know what to tell you on that one. You guys know how I feel about MacKinnon and the Hart. Megan, who else is eating tonight?
I'd like to see Casey Middlestat continue to look comfortable in that second line role. It is a big matchup against Draisaitl's line, and I'd like to see, similar to can the Avs PK stand the test against Edmonton's power play, can Casey Middlestat as the second line center hold up against Draisaitl's line?
It really is. When you're talking about going against a guy like Draisaitl on the second line, the mission is don't lose. Just don't lose the game. And maybe the reality of the way you have to do that against Edmonton is they're going to score some, you're going to have to score some back.
Sure, yeah.
So, If he shuts them down, awesome, but just find a way to keep it even. That's all I'm asking.
I like it, yeah.
Eric, who you got?
Mine makes no sense at all. Non-zero. It was written this morning. Tiff can attest to it. I just went on your Twitter, right? On your feed live,
Yep.
They're saying it's going to be a 10-9 final. So my answer doesn't make sense, but somewhere deep down in me, I'm taking Georgiev as my Circle K eater.
Oh boy.
So I'm hoping that he beats out NHL All-Star Stuart Skinner. But like I said, it doesn't make sense what I'm saying. But you know what? Anyone can dream and anyone can hope. So I can't lose.
Any goalie can have a good night.
All right.
Tonight would be a good time to have a good night. For
That's my
Georgiev.
Circle K eater,
Put it that way.
Georgiev.
I'm going to take a little bit of a weird one. The guy I talked about on the PK.
Dermy got traded, buddy. Stop.
No, Yakov Trenin
Oh.
is the guy I'm taking. Not necessarily because of the PK stuff, but I look at these two teams at the top, and I go, you know what? These two teams can go punch for punch. MacKinnon and McDavid, Draisaitl and Rantanen. These guys will both be able to score, but if they can keep up with each other, the difference in this game might just be that depth scoring. If you can get a goal out of a Yakov Trenin down your forward core, that could be the difference in a night like tonight. So I would love to see the one guy who hasn't produced a point yet for Colorado of these trade acquisitions get Trenin involved on that offensive side. So those are my eaters and everybody else's eaters too with Circle K. Go over to circlek.com/innercircle to get your rewards today, including 25 cents off a gallon on your first 5 fill-ups and a bunch of delicious snack options for game day. It's a QR code on screen right there. Become an Inner Circle Rewards member. All right. Continuing on here, I have our third segment listed as lead because I want to see the Avs play with the lead. And not they've taken off and they're up 4-0, 4-1, easy lead. I get that. I want to see them win a real hockey game with a lead. I think in close games far too often this season, you've seen them go down 2-1, go down 3-1, be down 3-2. A lot of playing catch up for this hockey team this year. And hey, they're really good at that. Awesome. Great. You want
They're
to
the
win
best in the league at that, actually.
Yeah, right. But if you want to win in the playoffs, you got to do it from ahead, right? Get ahead of Edmonton. Stay ahead of Edmonton. We've
It's a
talked about.
different game.
We've talked
It is.
about the high scoring of these two teams. Are the Avs as a team capable of keeping this a low scoring game? Is it possible, or am I just puffing hopium at this point? Who's taking it?
I got it. I'll go for it. It is
possible.
possible. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm asking. It is possible?
It is possible because remember what I was saying in my keys there? Playoff puck management. Sometimes I don't care if you have a lot of firepower on both sides and your side, and you're right. You know, it is a different mindset. It is a different game. If you're up 2-1 in a game, it's a different mindset for the goalie, first of all, to make that save than when you're up 4-1. It's a different mentality to, you know, they're going to have a push, especially a guy like McDavid. So, you know what? You got to be able to defend, and, you know, that is a perfect pre-test to the big exam at the end of the year coming up. So maybe you're right. Maybe you want to take the lead tonight, see how you defend and see how you do. And that comes down to puck management and decision making and not being stupid. You know, I don't care if you're Nathan MacKinnon or Brendan Duane. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, sometimes it's just not there. And I know that Mac can do some miracles, but sometimes you can't. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not blaming Mac. I'm saying anyone. You know what I mean? So when you have that puck, you got to make the right decisions with that puck, and I think it comes down to that for your answer there.
They can. I mean, it can be that kind of game. You just, good puck management, good decisions, smart play.
Sounds a lot like hopium to me at this point.
I mean, they're perfectly capable of playing that kind of game.
Okay.
You
You're
know,
not wrong.
and the way that the Avs are built, I think, is probably stylistically a good matchup against Edmonton. Like, I think they can succeed well against each other. They're not going to get beat up and bruised. So that defense, the little bit of an undersized defense, we'll be fine. As long as they manage the puck well. You know, they have a lot of chemistry issues that they're trying to work through starting tonight, really, about who's playing with whom and a lineup that's never played together before. So,
for the record, Nichushkin on the top line, Leckie and Druin back in playing next to Middlestat, Parise back on the third line, and then a fourth line of Duhaime, Cogliano, and Trennan.
okay.
I really like that. I think that's the closest to the complete lineup that we've seen in a while.
Agree.
Yeah.
And for the record, Makar is taking warm-ups. Maybe still a game-time decision, but a good sign that he is in warm-ups. So.
Stop getting sick, dudes.
Are they okay? Is Miles Wood okay? He's sick again.
Yeah.
The Avs are just creating their own strain of the flu as it goes around the locker room at this
And
point.
it's making them stronger, right?
They're just powering up, all right?
Yeah. That's how immunity works,
Herd
right?
immunity, yeah.
Exactly.
No, it really should be a good game tonight, and expectations for Colorado are, I think they're interesting because they are pretty high right now. Obviously, they've been on this winning streak, but you guys are mentioning there's kind of a whole bunch of dudes diving back into this lineup. You have a whole bunch of guys whose roles are changing on a night-to-night basis. Can the Avs continue to do this through these next 10 games? We said it's kind of a trial period for the new guys. But is there any concern that there's a lack of stability in the lineup?
I think it's moving away from the instability over anything. I think the early returns being as promising among the instability is encouraging because I think it only gets more stable from here, praying that nobody else keeps getting sick and that they're on the tail end of whatever bug is running through the team.
Out of their control on that side, for the most part.
But I think they're getting closer to stability than anything else.
Building it up a little bit.
Those roles start to get more consistent from this point.
Plus, it's the end of the season. Summertime's a little different. You haven't played for months, and I don't want to hear about preseason. Those are cocktail league games. I mean, it's so stupid, preseason games. But so now you got 60-some games in. You know, whether you were on a different team or not, your rhythm's there, your timing is there, and it's up to the guys. You're a professional, you win, guy. It's up to you to get the snuff right away. There's no time to wait. There's no Pierre-Luc Dubois where it takes you 40 games to get accustomed and your coach gets fired. I mean, at somewhere, somehow, like, you got to get up to snuff. You got to get on top of it. And you got to want. And then the players they went and got, Trennan, Duhaime, you know what I mean? Guys like for Walker, they're guys that want it. They want more than what they've been given over the last few years. And that's where you see, and they want to be around a championship minded team, and there's a big difference. You walk, I've done it. You come in from a shit team, you go to a good team. It's unreal, the difference. I mean, it's amazing. And you're in the locker room, and you're like, you're getting dressed, and you're like, well, this is amazing. Like, we're going to win tonight. Where you go where you expect to win every game, where in those other teams you're afraid to lose every game. There's a big difference. There's a big difference going into the games, and you get out there for warm up, and you're ready to go. And I'm telling you, those guys can't wait. Not only the Nate MacKinnons, they can't wait for playoffs to start, but the Trennan and Duhaimes and Walkers too, because they want to show that they belong with their team and, you know, show what they can do.
I hope you're right on all fronts there. Avs could be. By the way, chat, you picked this. We're calling 6 in a row. The Avs are a zamboni.
Our zamboni.
This was selected by the chat, so don't blame us if you don't like it. If they win tonight, we can come up with whatever 7 is. Someone said 7 is a problem. I'm about that one, to be honest.
I like that one.
But
Avs are a problem.
yeah, exactly.
I like problems.
Let's go get into my bets. As I did a bunch of things. I also took the over in the Avs to win this game, but the boosted parlay on Bet365 right now, Avs to win, a MacKinnon point, and a Mikko assist at plus 275. Not too bad.
Avs to win and 2 guys to keep really long point streaks going.
MacKinnon, Rantanen, on money line.
I'll tell you what, if those MacKinnon and Rantanen bets don't hit, I don't think the Avs win. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah.
So,
It's only plus 275.
yep. MacKinnon is like, for MacKinnon to get 1 point at this point is seriously like minus 200.
Yeah.
It's
That's
outrageous. Yeah.
What's the over-under on the game, do you know?
7. I took the over for the record.
I would too. I mean, again, doesn't make sense what I'm saying anyway. I took Georgia, so.
If you don't like the parlay, the Avs are plus money just straight up on the money line as well. Plus 120 tonight to win outright. So a lot of good options out there with Bet365 tonight. When you do go do your gambling with Bet365, make sure you sign up with code DNVR365. Bet $5 on any NHL game, and you get $150 in bonus bets when you do. Of course, please gamble responsibly. You must be located in Colorado. You must be 21 or older. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. All right. Still a little bit of time left with the Hockey Night in Canada puck drop here. When you look at a game like this, AJ, you mentioned if you want to win the Central, it's a must-win. Sure. I get we're down to the last 15 games of the season. I understand a lot of things should already be locked in yet. But do you really want to see the Avs have good process tonight? Is that really the secret? Just play a solid, as Eric put it in his keys, a playoff caliber hockey game?
Yeah, especially on the road, where they've not been very good, and hey, this has been a good start to the trip, and the way that they played in both Calgary and Vancouver was really encouraging in terms of process, for sure. Especially the Vancouver game, the way that they just took over. But yeah, you want to see them continue to build on that. You want to continue to feel like, all right, the trade deadline happened, this team turned up the wick. They're serious now. This is no longer we're trying to figure it out, and we're trying to do the right things every day, and it's just, we're here to do damage.
I've touched on it with the new players, but it is important for the OG Avs players to lead by example in terms of their habits, and that starts with good process. And I think it's just a pivotal point in the year where they can't afford to have bad habits, and especially with new players hanging around, looking at them as the example. I think that there's just no room for that at this point in the year, and it's important for the new players to start from a place of good habits only.
We talked about that level of consistency, right? Something that I think a lot of this season the Avs have lacked a little bit of. Look, you're getting pretty unbelievably good consistent play out of MacKinnon and Mikko. Have them lead the way. As you said, the new guys will follow.
It'll be interesting to see Edmonton too. You know, they helped their depth as well too last week with Henrique and Carrick and Stetcher on D, and it's two forwards and a D. A little bit familiar to the Avs. We'll see how they respond. You know what I mean, and how they do against. Again, we talk about measuring sticks. This is a big game for the Oilers tonight. As a team, individually, it's a big game for MacKinnon and McDavid. There's a lot of pressure on guys like that. The whole world is watching tonight, those two. And then Kucherov got 2 points this afternoon, right? So now he's, breathing down their Mac's neck, right? He's right there now. Not that it is an individual sport, I'm saying. But it is fun to win the scoring title. It is a fun race down the stretch. It adds a little spice to the end of the season. And tonight's it's a big spotlight on those guys tonight. So it'll be fun to watch.
All right, we do have one super chat to get to here. $10 from Banks. Been a while. I love you guys, though. Looking for Avs and Mac to metaphorically teabag McDavid and show who we really are with new guys, and that Mac is our heart winner.
You could just do it.
I want to say just do it, but I also don't want to get anybody in trouble. So, thank you very much for the $10. That's all I have. Any final thoughts on the game before we wrap this up and get to our watch along?
Someone said any former Avs on Oilers, and they forgot Calvin Pickard.
That is true.
I don't think he'll be getting a revenge goal against the Avs.
That would be a tough one to give up if the Avs gave up that one.
It would hurt, but I'd be happy for him because he's a great dude.
Right. He got a shutout over the Pens the other night. It's like, that's my guy on that team.
Happy for him.
Yeah.
That's my era of covering the Avs in person.
I'm sorry for your loss.
He's a great guy.
The guy's awesome. The Avs
he's a great
were not
guy.
as awesome.
He's a great guy.
All right, we are going to wrap up this pregame show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We do have a watch along. Tune in for that if you want to watch the game with us. If not, at very least, tune into the postgame where we will break down everything that happens in this one tonight. We will talk to you in a couple of minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.